So, the heart of your reading would suggest that there is something that you're either moving away from, but you're trying to gain a great distance for freedom, okay? I feel like right now you kind of feel kind of conformed, or kind of feel like that the life that you live currently doesn't mesh with who you are, right? I will. So who are you right now? Not the I will card doesn't mean, oh, okay, it means who am I? No, but it helps to figure out who you are, so that way you can start expressing based off of who you are. True authentic expression. So who are you, Taurus? Who are you now, rather? Because I feel like the old you is what's being changed. You're changed. There's a big part of you right now, especially thanks to Uranus being in your sign at this moment, and Uranus isn't doing anything but bringing to light what's already there. Things that we may not have agreed to necessarily, but has been tradition, and some things that we've been following for a while that we just are used to, and we found consistency and stability in this knowledge. That doesn't mean that this is something that really represents who we are. Like, for instance, we could be or do something based off of some upbringing of our own, right, of our parents or our families, but we don't actually truly resonate with this belief system. But we do it because it's consistent, it's what we know, and it's worked so far. At least we have at least we believe it's been working so far. But I feel like, does this truly express who you are? Not all the time. Sometimes it doesn't. And this is why the Hierophant's coming up now. What traditions and routines and things such that's similar, what things have you been sticking to that truly don't resonate with who you are? And what things have you not prioritized for yourself that would be for you, but you don't believe it fits into the old way of being, right? And I don't think you've been pushing it off on purpose. I think it's just something that's kind of like a mechanism, and you're trying to unlearn what you've learned, hardwired into yourself, and trying to reincorporate true, authentic expression. It's definitely a journey, because the Six of Swords is definitely expressing this. But what you would like to be is content and happy. You want to be happy. But the only way for you to be happy is by truly going for what is you. What do you want? And I feel like the people that you surround yourself with, the people that you are constantly engaging with, or even your friendships and such, they are showing back to you who you either want to be or who you are to yourself. So if it's showing up late to an event, or if it's not calling on a birthday, or if it's not being considered in a situation like, say, going out with friends or going out, hanging out with people, you probably aren't considering yourself enough, right? Perhaps means to make sure that not make sure, but means to show you where you could be more selfish, where you could apply yourself in more areas where you wouldn't normally, because you may have seen it as something that's not necessarily good, or maybe society has deemed it as inappropriate or selfish or, inconsiderate. But I feel like you're noticing that society doesn't know anything about anyone. Society is literally what it is. It's just a construct for everyone to collaborate and to blend different ideas. I see that you guys see this, because now this whole practice, this whole traditional way of being, you're aware of what doesn't fit and what doesn't, what does and what doesn't fit. And now the constructs of your society, of the society that's been influencing, either it has influenced your decision making, has encouraged a certain way of being, is no longer being considered. You're like, nah, this doesn't make me happy though. I'm not truly free. I'm not truly able to be myself. I'm having a hard time experiencing something new, because where I am is to fit in, or to be to abide by certain rules and laws that truly don't mandate me to be anything other than someone that is a normal, and I use quotations, normal individual in society. So it totally makes sense, right? You guys are like, I'm done expressing myself through the lens of what other people think I should be expressing. I'm going to express who I want to express. It's very Leo, right? That's why Leo's coming up. You're going to do and be whoever you want to be and whoever you are, without other people's inputs or exceptions or um, their input. You don't give a fuck. Okay, just to put it plainly, you guys may start cussing more or doing things more, not necessarily in a rebellious sense. Some of you guys may be feeling a little rebellious right now, because you just been like, well, I deserve to be who I am. Why can't I be who I am? So that rebellion energy may be there. But ultimately, you're finding that a certain way of being, a certain structure, a certain life pattern doesn't resonate with you. And you're trying to find a new way of expressing yourself and and also achieve what you want to achieve. So, nice. I love it. The past is suggesting here the lovers is someone that either you've met, a person that has been a great significance in your life, and I feel like this person, whether you or her, or you or them, or both of you have expressed to each other is something that is quite prominent in that pretty much speaks great volumes with the seventh house partnerships card here. What is that? What have you expressed to each other that you actually express to yourself day in day out? What things have you noticed that this person does to you that you end up doing to yourself, or vice versa? What have you noticed about them that you notice them doing? Sometimes we're not at that point where we can see what other people are doing to themselves, but if you are in that point, you also see this. Not that it matters, because it's kind of like, oh, okay, but it kind of refocuses you back onto what the main focus is what is this person expressing to you that you express to yourself. But most importantly, I feel like the lovers is just the meeting of somebody new, is somebody that you've met, and that is a great significance in your life. They may be a soulmate. They may be here to show you something about yourself, or to show you something about maybe what you want, or maybe help you to obtain what you're trying to manifest, like a relationship. Or perhaps this is someone that is, a past life lover. It really doesn't matter what the lovers necessarily is, who this person is to you. It really matters is what this means. What does this mean? It means that what you are ready to learn is by expressing how you would to another person, to yourself. This is almost like, again, relearning how to be for you, unlearning the old stuff, right? Being sacrificial, not always putting your other people first before your own, and seeing how this person here, which could be a Leo, by the way, since this is coming up so strongly. Some of you guys may be interacting with Leos, or someone that's very self-focused. I say self-focused and not self-absorbed, because self-focused means that they're not going to do anything that's outside of their authentic expression. That's totally fine. And I feel like you may be interacting with somebody that's in their light, or that captures a sense of freedom of being themselves without any sort of construct or any sort of confining of societal norms. And I feel like you're interacting with them at this point, at this moment, and you're seeing you're seeing the love through someone expressing from a self-focused area. The self-focusedness doesn't have to be terrible. It isn't inconsiderate. It isn't rude. It isn't inappropriate. It is actually the best and the most powerful form of love can express imaginable. And why? Is because this person, I think either that you're noticing, or even you're noticing about yourself, when you express in a very authentic way, you're noticing that love feels pure and feels real, because that person wants to do that. Not because it looks right, or that's how it's supposed to go and it's going by the steps of a routine, but rather this is truly from this individual. This is not having to do with any sort of right way of handling things or so forth. They're coming from a genuine space. When love is coming from a genuine space, it feels more real. In Taurus, you are the rulers of what is tangible, what is real. So you're definitely picking that up like nobody's business. And you are also realizing through this person expressing this that you can express the same thing. So I feel like if you know this now, that you can express this, you're unlearning an old way of being, so you can be the person that you want to be, which is someone that can express and share and give real love. What is real love? Real love is authentic expression. It's expressing yourself and truly being you, regardless of what the situation comes up to be. You are being you. Yes, you can be you in a professional setting. You could be you in an unprofessional setting. You could be you with friends. You could be you with family. You could be you with your parents. You don't necessarily have to change yourself, But of course, there's other parts of you that would express things in a way that would make the situations more appropriate. So of course, I'm not saying completely ditch the norms. If you go to a party, be a total ratchet person. Like, no. I'm not saying that. But I am saying, though, is that you can be yourself in all these areas and not have to compromise any part of yourself. You can truly express from who you are by being who you want to be in that moment, being who you are in that moment, rather, and not changing yourself according to the circumstance necessarily. Not changing yourself because this is not what society likes. This is not what people would expect from a good person, or a good sort of person, or a person that has a certain belief system or a certain culture. You don't have to abide by that sort of standard, because that standard is not tailored to people. It's not a tailoring to people. This is not, it doesn't actually capture anything. And as a matter of fact, I think one of the things you notice is that not everyone fits in the same shoe. So why would a certain societal norm be something that everyone should be abiding to if not everyone wears the same shoes, not everyone wears the same clothes, not everyone can fit the same clothes? So maybe you are not the person meant to stick to this sort of status quo. And I'm not saying there's any status quo to stick to, but I am saying that this is a definite recognition that how you've been living your life hasn't been truly authentic to you, because you are doing what you believe is right, but not doing what you feel is right. And not necessarily feel is right for the world, but feel what is right for you. What do you want to do? What do you want to express? What do you want to, who do you want to share this expression with? And when you figure out who you are, right? When you know who you are and what this new you is, you will change. You will be better about sticking to time, not being late to things, being more consistent again. And I'm not saying you haven't been. I think you guys have been, which is why you may be feeling like, damn, I don't have a sense of freedom. I'm always doing stuff. Like, I'm always kind of, staying, skirting the line, or walking the line, or just doing what I'm told, or doing what I'm supposed to do, or whatever that looks like, whatever that is, whatever that means. You're always doing things that make you feel that you can't do anything else. You can't, well, most importantly, you can't be yourself. The fool is nothing more than himself. And that is the biggest thing that anyone can be. Leo tells us that. So your future shows the Knight of Swords here. Okay, and the present was the Hierophant. The future is the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords, to me, would suggest that you start going out and you telling people off. Or other people are telling you off, because you're expressing yourself freely. Now, I feel like you're going to have stronger boundaries when you change them. So, of course, when you start going off at people, this is not necessarily you just lashing out at being terrible. You're expressing who you are and what you will and will not tolerate, because you are a new individual. You are evolving into a new person. So, but then, even in the retaliation aspect of it, right? The seventh house, you're probably going to have people come at you, right? People are going to communicate to you, well, you shouldn't do that. Or that is something I don't like. You shouldn't do whatever. You should maybe stop talking so much. Or maybe you should just go back to doing your work. That's them expressing their truth. But that doesn't mean that their truth applies to you, right? So you have a new way of being. You're like, no, I don't think so. You can say whatever the hell you want to say, but that's not me. And I would appreciate that you do not communicate with me this way, because I'm no longer the person that you think will take that shit. So you don't back down here. And I like that. And then you also start, not only is it backlash from people and maybe you going out of your way to express your boundaries that have been newly founded, because you're also aware of who you are not, and as well as who you are now. But on top of that, you're also going after the things that you do want. You're like, all right, since this job here doesn't make me happy, I'm going to quit this job and go for what I truly want to do. I want to be a doctor. I want to work at a garden. I want to apply assistance to people in need. I want to do something that doesn't have to do with what I think should do, the thing will get me to where society would say, yes, that's successful. I want to feel it. I don't want to be it. I don't want to be in the eyes of what other people think. I want to do what I believe will make me happy. And that is my version of success. Leo does not live by other people's terms of success. This is I will. I will do what I want. I will do what I intend for me to do. This is your new language. Your new language is, if it doesn't match who I am, it ain't gonna get done. It isn't me. If this relationship doesn't represent who I am, if I can't be who I need to be, or be who I need to be for myself, or be who I am for myself, this is not for me. I will not live or be a part of an expression that does not resonate with who I am. And that's such a powerful message. I feel like everybody should watch this reading because of how you guys are evolving as Taurians. It's so big. And the reason why it's so big is because you guys are known for being consistent, known for things being the same, known for things, showing some sort of groundedness, not going crazy. You're known for people to rely on you because of your consistency and what feels or what looks right. You're able to apply a sense of comfort by what the normal is, and you're not doing that now. But now people can truly feel comfortable with you because they're not feeling comfortable based off of what you can provide them from their day-to-day life being consistent. But you're able to present a sense of self that is truly you, and that way that sense of comfort is, hey, you can be whoever you are because I can be whoever I am. That in itself is a sense of comfort, family. So you won't lose that comfortness. You won't lose that sense of stability. As a matter of fact, you feel even more stable, and you feel comfortable with yourself. It don't matter what other people think or how other people feel about being comfortable, about you being, them feeling comfortable with you. That don't matter. And I feel like you're noticing that too. Like, that doesn't matter. What matters is whether or not you're comfortable and happy with yourself, and that will translate and reflect to other people, and you'll be able to see that, so you'll know. Not only do you know, but it's like another synchronicity or another sign of awareness where people are expressing to you either what you already feel or what you would want to feel and how you can do it for yourself. So, the Three of Wands is your crowning energy or your advice. I usually like to see this as advice since I kind of don't really understand what crowning really means. I'm just going to be straight up. But the situation is this with the advice. The Three of Wands would suggest that you have sent out a message and now you're waiting for the message, the return of this message, or return of something being asked to come back to you. And this is really really the biggest thing is continuing to do the work, right? Continue to do what you do, but to be more aware of what's coming in, right? It's just, I feel like with the Three of Wands, it's a heightened awareness here. Because of course you still got stuff to do. You can't just sit around and wait forever. But, now I'm definitely not asking you guys to do that. But most importantly too, it's also being sensitive to what messages you're getting. Whatever you put out to the universe, whatever you ask the universe to grant you, you're gonna get it. But you have to be aware. The awareness is what's gonna come in, and how you're aware is by being yourself. By being yourself, you're not distracting yourself with trying to be yourself or trying to be something that you're not, and you're eliminating that layer of conversation where it's like, ooh, I should do this, ooh, I should do this, I need to respond. Instead, when you're doing you, you're not distracting yourself by being you. You're able to pick up other things that people are saying, pick up other things that people are suggesting, or picking up things that you didn't really notice because you are no longer in your way. And of course, this isn't to say that you're going to be picking up people are saying things about you, because that's still being awareness. It's still like awareness of yourself. And that's not a bad thing, but that awareness of yourself is not going to get you, it may not get you to where you want to be. I shouldn't say it's not, because sometimes it may. But it may be still a distraction. So just to see what the message is, right? How can I be myself? How can I be my free, authentic self? By being. By doing what you do. And by adjusting and changing along the way. This isn't going to be overnight, and I think you know that too. Like Taurus, you're the energy that shows us, that tells us that patience is a virtue. You guys are the patient. The patience is a virtue card. You guys are the patient of the virtue energy, right? Patience is a virtue, rather. You know better than any of us what patience entails. So you know that the changes that come will come, but you have to wait for those changes to, kind of come in and when it needs to. So, I mean, you're doing it already. You're like, hey, I know what needs to change. I mean, I know I have an idea of what needs to change. Now I got to kind of wait to get the parts in, if that makes sense. I have to see where everything makes sense to apply the best adjustment that I could possibly give to myself, if there needs any adjustment. If at most, just really just relearning to be yourself.